There are moments throughout the year when a warm, cozy breakfast feels perfect. Maybe it is a holiday morning with family drifting in from the cold, or a quiet weekend when you want something a little special. Hi, friend, come on in. No matter the occasion, a pan of soft, fragrant cinnamon rolls always feels just right. You can make these the day before and let them rest overnight in the fridge, which means breakfast takes almost no effort the next morning. They feed a group with ease and taste every bit as comforting as you would hope. These cinnamon rolls are tender and pillowy, incredibly customizable, and simple enough to make any time. You can use a stand mixer if you want, but they come together easily by hand with just a little kneading. In a measuring cup, combine a half cup of milk with 1 tablespoon of butter and 1 tablespoon of sugar. Warm this gently until the butter melts. It should feel warm to the touch, but not hot. Add 1 tablespoon of water. If you accidentally heat the milk too much, use cold water to cool it. In a measuring bowl, add 1½ cups of flour, followed by half a teaspoon of salt and yeast. If you want these rolls the same day, use 1 teaspoon of yeast. If you plan to proof them overnight in the fridge, scale that back to a half teaspoon to slow everything down. Lightly beat 1 egg and add it to the warm milk mixture. Pour the wet ingredients into the bowl of flour. The dough will start soft and sticky and you will need more flour, but it is always easier to add flour than to correct a dough that is too stiff. Add flour a little at a time until everything comes together into a soft dough. When stirring becomes difficult, start giving the dough a few bowl kneads and sprinkle in more flour as needed. Once it feels close, turn it out onto the counter and begin kneading. You are aiming for a dough that feels slightly tacky but not sticky. Flour moisture varies from kitchen to kitchen and egg sizes differ, so trust how the dough feels. Knead for about 5 minutes or until the dough becomes smooth. Shape it into a ball, place it in a lightly greased bowl and cover it. Allow it to rise until doubled. Even in my chilly kitchen, this took less than an hour. While the dough rises, mix the filling. Soften 2 to 3 tablespoons of butter in a small bowl. Add a half cup of brown sugar and 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Stir until combined. This makes a thin, even layer, which is usually enough, but if you like a thicker filling, mix up a little extra. If it looks dry, add more butter until it spreads easily without becoming runny. I made mine a bit more on the drier side. It sprinkles a bit better and seems less messy. Turn the dough out onto your counter and press out the air. Stretch it gently into a rectangle and roll it to about a ½ inch thickness. You can go thinner or thicker depending on how you like your rolls. Mine rolled out to roughly 10 by 14 inches. Once the dough is rolled out, lift the edges slightly to relax any tension. Dough sometimes sticks to the counter and springs back when cut or rolled. So this quick lift keeps it from shrinking while you roll it up. Spread the filling over the top, leaving a small border along one edge. This helps the final seam seal. This recipe doubles well. Add 3 tablespoons of water and keep to 1 egg. The original recipe made a larger batch, but 9 rolls feels more practical for most families, mine included. If you want to customize the filling, now is the time. Mini chocolate chips are lovely, and so are nuts, apple butter, or pumpkin puree, which work beautifully too. Starting along the long edge with the filling right to the border, roll the dough into a log. Try to keep it snug, but do not feel pressured to make it perfect. I start the roll as tightly as I can, then gently lift and pull to keep the layers even. Once the log is rolled, reposition it so you can cut it easily. Slice it into 9 pieces, about 1.5 inches each. You can also roll from the short side and make 4 large bakery-style rolls if you prefer. You do not need fancy tools to slice cinnamon rolls. If your dough squishes when you cut it, you can either let it rest for a few minutes after rolling it up. Using a gentle sawing motion can help keep the spirals neat. Using unflavored dental floss or thread, or just go with it. They might look squished, but they still turn out puffy and fine. Either way, they still taste great. Grease an 8x8 or 9x9 pan, then pour 3 to 4 tablespoons of melted butter into the bottom. This creates a caramelized base as the rolls bake. Arrange the rolls in the pan, cover them with a damp towel, and let them rise until puffy. Avoid letting them rise so much that the centers lift out of shape. If you are proofing overnight, cover the pan tightly to prevent drying out. When you are ready to bake, heat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 175 degrees Celsius. If the rolls are in a glass pan and have been in the fridge, bring the pan to room temperature or let it warm gradually in the heating oven. Bake for 30 to 40 minutes or until they are golden and fully baked. Let them cool slightly before serving. A simple icing drizzle or a cream cheese frosting works beautifully here. You can also invert the rolls onto a plate to show off that buttery, caramelized bottom. The bottoms are soft, gooey, and full of flavor. These rolls are quick and indulgent, and you can truly make them your own by changing the filling or topping. You can even create a cinnamon roll bar with different drizzles and add-ons. Let me know how you enjoy your cinnamon rolls. They are at their best fresh from the oven or on the same day, just like most homemade breads that do not contain preservatives. If you enjoy learning how to cook and bake using pantry staples, be sure to subscribe. I have more recipes and techniques coming your way. Thanks for hanging out with me today.